in the middle of an absolutely collapsing economy. You know, there's an expression, Trump was right about everything. And if you look, I was right about the border. I was right about Ukraine. I was right about Taiwan. And I'm hope I'm not going to be right about World War III, because we have stupid people dealing, and you could possibly end up, better chance today than ever. You know, Putin mentioned the N-word. You know what the N-word is? It's, no. It's the nuclear word. He mentioned the N-word yesterday, the nuclear word, not supposed to be mentioned. You could end up in World War III, and this will be a war like we've never had before. It won't even be close, because we're being run by stupid people. And worst of all, Beasley has vowed to be the 50th vote for abolishing the Senate.
Welcome in, guys. I haven't done a live stream in a while, so I figured I would watch the second half of the Trump rally with you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
They should have shut them down a long time ago. They'll put on 22, 24, 23. You know, they said they'll go a little bit more than what they have now. No, they're not going to do that. They'll put on a lot. In fact, they'll have so many chairs there, you won't be able to go into the Supreme Court anymore. And they want to do that. And to pass every other dangerous left-wing fantasy that you can imagine. If Sherry Beasley gets in, the squad will have total control, and they will drive America right off the cliff. It's almost there now anyway, without saying it. I love our country, but it's so sad what's happened to our country in 2 years. By contrast, Ted Budd is a conservative, America First all-star in Congress. They love him, the congressman. They all called, could you do us a favor? Could you endorse Ted Budd? I said, I hear he's good. Tell me about him. But a lot of people didn't know him. His area where he has been a congressman for a long time, they love him. But a lot of the people in the state, but once they got to know him, he's leading by a lot. But I don't even want to say that, because you have to get out and vote. We don't want to have they're leading by a lot, Ted, and everyone says, oh, he's going to win, and then they don't vote. That's happened before, hasn't it, to people? So we don't want to have. So let's assume he's down by 1. But he will always defend your safety, your jobs, and your North Carolina values. He loves the people of North Carolina. In fact, I asked, did anyone ever hear of Laura Trump? Laura. I said, Laura, why don't you run? I think we could get you. I think you'd be, I mean, you know, she's so popular. She grew up in North Carolina.
And she's not being investigated by the New York Attorney General, so she's got that going for her.
Good daughters. But they've got a good daddy. Yeah, that's true, I would say. But she's married to Eric. And you know, I said, Laura, why don't you run? She said, because Ted Budd is going to do a fantastic job. How about that? I never even told you that. I don't know if she would have beaten you, Ted. I don't know. But I think I would have had a hard time supporting you. I would have said, Ted, remember I told you I was going to endorse you? If you don't mind, I'm going to take that sucker back. No, but she loves the state, and she loves you, and she thinks you're going to do a fantastic job. So, and I do too. I know you will. Ted will vote to stop the radical Democrats' inflation-causing spending binge, and he will unlock American energy and bring prices way down. And what happens when the prices come down to where they were? Putin stops the war. He'll stop it anyway. If I decide to do this, I guarantee he will stop it very quickly. Very, very quickly. Ted has been rock solid on defending our borders. He helped build the wall. He fought for me in the wall. We had to fight those Democrats like you wouldn't believe. And he fights relentlessly to get dangerous criminal aliens off your streets. Ted is endorsed by the North Carolina Troopers Association. All of the police are endorsing Ted. Not like they have a choice. I mean, what's their choice? A radical left Democrat that wants to defund the police. She wants to defund the police. Is she crazy? How the hell do these people get votes? You know how? By cheating. That's how they get votes. And Ted is truly the candidate, and is said to be the candidate of a thing called law and order. You know, that used to be a term you're not supposed to say. We'll say it all the time, Ted. And as a gun store owner, Ted will...
Says the guy who encouraged his supporters to stormed the Capitol on 1/6, right? Attacked police officers, gouged their eyes out, broke their bones, had them in fearing for their lives. Right, Don?
Wow, Mr. President, I think I can speak for all of us here who are glad to have Donald J. Trump back in North Carolina. Mr. President, I can also say that we are ready to stop the Biden-Beasley agenda and make America great again. We all know that the Biden-Beasley agenda makes our life worse, but our plan, Mr. President, it did and it will again make our life better. When it comes to the America First agenda, President Trump didn't back down. And when you endorsed me, you said, Ted, it's because you didn't back down. So I want to let you know that I'm not going to back down either, friends. Mr. President, we just want to say thank you. We want to thank your whole family as well. Now let's go win this for our country.
Who was he talking about not backing down from Democrats or Joe Biden or this Beasley woman? I'm not really sure.
Great,
He just won't
great
back down.
gentleman. He's
Okay.
going to represent you long and hard. Everybody needs to
Long and
get
hard.
out. Remember, it's November. You got to get out. We don't have a choice. We're not going to have a country left. We're not going to have a country left. You got to get out. You got to swamp them. We're also joined by several terrific new candidates for Congress, and these are great.
I'm wondering if he's going to play QAnon music over his closing remarks. I'm kind of eager to see.
But I have no choice. Great, Bo. And I hear you're doing fantastically. It's looking really good. So, good. Go out and get them. Sandy Smith from North Carolina's 1st Congressional District. Sandy, and you have my total endorsement, and you get out and win that race. And you have a lot of congressmen, I'll tell you, including Scott. He called me so many times. I said, just stop calling me. But he loves Sandy. So good luck, okay? Good luck. She's going to be terrific. Thanks, Sandy. And a man I'm really fond of because he beat one of the impeachers, right? He beat Congressman Rice. And Congressman Rice suffered a big, big loss. That wasn't even, it was an unexciting evening because I guess the polls closed at 8 o'clock, and at 8:01, they said, Russell Fry has won the election. Took 1 minute. It was a slaughter. South Carolina's 7th Congressional District, big Trump district, and it's an honor to have you as my friend, and you are a professional, and your staff I just met backstage, and I really want to congratulate you on a great win. I want to get rid of all those impeachers. We got almost all of them out.
You know it still stings him. He'll never forget it.
Well, to, I think, one of the hottest politicians in the United States of America, and he's become a friend of mine, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Great. You're incredible, incredible wife. Thank you very much, Mrs. Robinson. Congressman David Rosier. David Rosier. I want to put the proper pronunciation, but he's great, and he's a warrior. David, you've been a warrior. You've been such an incredible friend. Thank you very much. Speaker of the North Carolina House, Tim Moore. Tim, thank you very much, Tim. Great job, Tim. And a friend of mine, you know, we won the state twice, and we did great both times, and I never had a problem because you have in North Carolina a GOP chairman named Michael Whatley, who's fantastic.
So let's see. What has he already talked about? Talked about the death sentence for human smugglers, which is, kind of interesting. The past few months we've had weeks with Ron DeSantis down in Florida. Yeah, and mostly just talking shit about Joe Biden.
I gotta say this. Do you have any football fans? Yeah, I guess, right? The craziest game I ever saw was the Jet game last week. Is that right? So there's like a minute and 37 seconds left. They're down by 13 points, and they were having a tough game, and they don't even have the ball. I think the chances of them winning was 1/100th of 1%, and nobody would take the bet. And they got some kind of a fumble. They threw a long pass. It was caught. They got 7. And then they got an onside kick. This took place over like about a minute and a quarter. And they got an onside kick, and they went for a touchdown. And they won the game because the other field goal kicker missed a field goal somewhere during the game. And they got 14 points they needed. They needed 14 points. They got 14 points like in a minute and 12 seconds. It was the craziest thing. And I called the coach because I think the coach is like a great guy, general manager too. Coach. I said, Coach, you're greater than Vince Lombardi because Vince Lombardi never did that. He was never able to pull out a game like that because that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. The game was done. It was over. And the owner of the Jets is here with his incredible wife, Woody Johnson and Suzanne Johnson, and they are so happy. Where the hell are they? Where are they? Where are they? What a job that was. I'm telling you, I told the coach, he's better. He's better than anybody. The greatest coach in America. He's a great guy. But that was some game, Woody. I know you expected to win when you're down by 13 and you don't have the ball and there's a minute and a half left. But Woody Johnson's a great guy and his wife is even better, okay? So thank you both. And thank you for being here, Woody. And Summers, thank you for being here. Where's Summers? Summers Farkas, our friend. She captivates New York, captivates it. This is also the home state of someone who I said before is very special, Lara.
It's just so strange that he's got all these friends who are these, millionaires and billionaires. And he goes to these places like North Carolina where there's not a lot of money. And most of his supporters are they're not the wealthiest people. And he can just take, minutes out of a rally and just praise these rich people at a rally where he's, talking about how he's a man of the people.
Jobs after the twin disasters of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever, which I terminated, and China's entry into the World Trade Organization. But after decades of false promises and bitter betrayals from other politicians, I ended NAFTA. They said I couldn't do it. And Mexico was not happy, and Canada was not happy. And I replaced it with the USMCA. That's Mexico and Canada, the best trade deal we ever made in our country's history. A giant win for North Carolina, as you all know, and the workers and farmers and manufacturers. In fact, the deal is so good that Mexico and Canada are right now trying to renegotiate the deal with the Biden administration. Don't do it. Don't do it, Joe. Don't do it. Don't allow it to happen. Because they took advantage of us for 30 years. I withdrew from the job-killing Trans-Pacific Partnership, would have destroyed your state.
I don't see the Blacks for Trump guys in the back here. I'm curious as how does the Trump administration, Trump campaign, whoever's working with Trump, how do they decide whether those guys show up or not, right?
Critical rules, buy American and hire American, buy and hire. And I stood up to China like no president in history, taking in billions and billions and billions of dollars in tariffs and taxes. No other president took in 10 cents. They never did anything. They came in and they raped and pillaged our country. and we never did anything. And we then gave $28 billion to our great farmers because our farmers were hit hard during the negotiation. You know, China said, we're not going to do anything. They thought they'd outbluff me and say, we're not going to do anything for the farmers. And the farmers came in. I'll never forget, they came to the White House. And I said, don't worry, we're going to help you out. I'll get some subsidy for you during this. Or, sir, we don't want subsidy. Only group that ever said that to me were the farmers. We just want a fair playing field, a level playing field. I'll never forget that. I had 32 farmers in. They said, all we want is a level playing field. And I made the best deal ever made for farmers and manufacturers, and that was the deal with China. But then when COVID came in, I don't talk about it. I don't even talk about it. But it's been an incredible deal for the farmers. We wanted to do, I asked Sonny Perdue, the Secretary of Agriculture, how much have they hurt us and what kind of numbers have they done? Sir, they've hurt us $12 billion the first year, about 14 to 16 billion the second. So I said, that's okay. So I charged China $28 billion and I gave it to the farmers, $28 billion. And we had hundreds of billions left over, hundreds of billions of dollars which came into the Treasury. We fought for North Carolina and we won for North Carolina. And this November, we're going to fight and win for North Carolina once again. One of the first things we will do is to stand up for parents' rights. It's time to finally and completely break the radical left's corrupt education cartel. Think of it. I'm standing up here, I guess as a politician, I'm a politician. I never thought of myself as a politician, but I guess I am, right? But think of it. I'm actually talking that we're going to stand up for parents' rights. Can you imagine saying that like 10 years ago? They'd say, he said he's going to, I mean, of course he's going to stand up for parents' rights. Today it's like politically, it's somewhat politically incorrect to even say it. We are standing up for parental rights.
No, Donald, it's
Can't
just...
believe I have to...
Yeah, I can't believe you have to say it too. It's so extreme, right? Your party has become so extreme and you don't stand for anything, so you have to make up this vague term like parental rights. So you're right, Donald. It is incredibly unbelievable that you have to say that.
In America must be empowered to opt out of indoctrination and send their child to the public, private, charter, religious, or home school of their choice. They're going to do that. In addition, we will get critical race theory, another beauty, out of our schools, out of our military. I took it totally out of our military. They put it back in. And out of every...
Race theory was never in our military or schools. It's a grad school course.
...of women's sports, right? Keep men...
That gets a good applause.
Women's sports. We're gonna keep men out.
Oh, okay.
You see
I think
those
he's getting
records
ready
that are
for
being
his-
broken at numbers that nobody
his
ever could think
weightlifter
of.
story.
The weightlifters are hitting, you know, if they picked up 1 ounce, they'd be thrilled after years. But we're breaking records by 150 pounds. We're breaking the swim records at numbers. 1/8 of a second she wanted. You know the story. I've told it often. I won't bother telling it tonight. But 1/8, he says, tell it. 1/8 of a second. But he broke the record, this giant man. She's looking over. She said, who is this? She doesn't remember swimming against her. And she looks at this giant. He had a wingspan like Wilt, the stilt Chamberlain. And he broke the record by 38 seconds. She just wanted to break it by 1/8 of a second. And no teacher should ever be allowed to teach transgender to our children without parental consent.
Teach transgender.
Another one of our highest priorities under a Republican Congress will be to stop left-wing censorship and to restore free speech in America. We don't have it. We have fake news. We got a lot of fake news. And go out.
As he points to all of the cameras at his rally.
They're constantly trying to kill it, these fakers. It's doing great. It's a hot platform. I think it's the hottest platform. And I wouldn't say Twitter's doing too good. He just said it's killing Twitter. I wouldn't say Twitter is doing too good right now, but
Truth Social is doing horribly. They're in legal trouble. They're not paying their server fees. He's completely full of it.
law enforcement, voter ID, tax cuts, regulation cuts, the Constitution, and they're against our founding fathers. Other than that, I really think they're terrific, aren't they, Uncle Sam? Uncle Sam thinks they're fabulous. The way they win is to cheat in elections. I really believe that. How can you be against all of those things and then say, oh, we just nipped out Trump. We just whipped out, it doesn't happen. No, they cheat like hell. Everywhere the Republican Party has a chance, we must pass critical election integrity reforms, including universal voting ID. Can you imagine? They don't want voting identification. And yet when they had their big convention, they had like placards in their front. Fingerprints, pictures, the nose 15 different ways, side. But they don't want voter ID because they want to cheat. Now think of it. Can you imagine? They don't want voter ID. Citizenship confirmation, they don't want that either. We don't want to know whether or not they're a citizen. They don't have to be a citizen, Ted. Not too many of those people are going to be voting for you, Ted, or Mark, or any of you. We want no more fake drop boxes. 417 million went into those fake drop boxes. And a lot of bad decisions are coming out in the courts about the legality of those drop boxes. And I have to tell you that Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin, has been incredible. What
Still
they've
complaining
done
about the election. Shut up, Donald. This is Mila. I'm dog sitting her for my buddy. Say hi, Mila.
It's okay, Uncle Sam. Same day voting. That's what we want. Same day voting. You know, I have some ladies from North Carolina over there. They've attended 92 rallies. Stand up, please. These people,
92.
they're so beautiful. I'm not supposed, you know, you're not allowed to say that anymore, but you are. You know, you're not allowed to talk about a woman's beauty because it's politically incorrect, but look at them over there. They come from North Carolina, and I can be in Nevada, I can be in Texas, and they've attended 92, I don't know what it's doing for your marriages. They're married women with handsome husbands. The husbands are here a little bit less, but they come too, but they're incredible, and I'm in your state. So I figure I have to give you a shout out. 92 rallies they've attended. And I think they're very rich, actually. I think they have to be rich to attend night. But look at the way they're dressed. Look at the way they're fantastic women. And we will see you soon, okay? We're working on something. They want to come to Mar-a-Lago. I said, you know, I think I'm going to let them. What the hell? We'll have dinner, right?
Why not?
Are you bringing
They can
your
see the
husbands?
documents.
Leave them home, the hell with them. No, these are great people. We're just 7 weeks away. Where's front row, Joe? Oh, front row. How many have you been to? You know, they're looking at 92 as being like peanuts. That's great. Thank you, darling. Thank you very much. Front row. These are the front row Joes. They wait in line for 5-6 days to get in. Can you believe? Because they want to be.
Man,
You
we
believe
can't
this,
believe
Ted?
that.
People got here 5 days ago. Are you exhausted? These are all the front row. We love you. Thank you very much, everybody. We are just 7 weeks away from the most important midterm election in American history. And we need a landslide so big that the radical left just cannot do it. They cannot steal it. This is the year we're going to take back the House. We're going to take back the Senate. We're going to take back our country. We're going to take back America. And in 2024, most importantly, I got to say, Ted, I'm sorry, but most importantly, I shouldn't say that, Ted, but most importantly, we're going to take back our magnificent White House. We're going to take it back.
I don't think Donald Trump is going to be in the United States in 2024. He's going to make his money at these rallies, sell his merch, and then as soon as the Department of Justice closes in on him, he's done. He's off to Russia.
Together we will fight for more jobs for North Carolina families, fair trade for North Carolina workers, and more for North Carolina than North Carolina can even imagine, just like we were doing before. Factories will be forging more products stamped with that beautiful, beautiful phrase, made in the USA. We will shut down Biden's border disaster, reinstitute our strong Remain in Mexico policy, strengthen the patriots of ICE and Border Patrol. Border Patrol, what people they are too. They're incredible people. And we will again end catch and release. We will end chain migration. All things we did before, they just had to leave it alone. We will end the visa lottery, which is a disaster. We will clamp down on illegal immigration just like we did less than 2 years ago when we had, again, the greatest, strongest border in the history of our country. We will stop the crime wave in Democrat-run cities, and we will give our police the power they need and the respect they deserve. And we will never, ever take legal protection away from our police. They want to take legal protection. They want our police to go out and hire their own lawyers. Can you believe these people? We will restore a thing called law and order in America. We will hold China accountable for unleashing the virus upon the world. We will defend our Constitution, we will defend the Second Amendment, and we will proudly uphold the Judeo-Christian values and principles of our nation's founding.
Sound like a white supremacist, Don.
Patriotic education to our schools, and we will teach our children to love their country, honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag.
Except for when I lose an election.
Conclusion.
And then it's time to storm the Capitol, baby.
MAGA, Make America
Capitol,
Great
baby.
Again movement. To make America great again. I told that the other day. I was saying, please tell Biden, don't hit MAGA. It means make America great again. What's the hit? Can you imagine? They go after make America great again, but that tells you, sir. It's by far the greatest political movement in the history of our country, probably in the history of almost all countries. Together, we are standing up against some of the most menacing forces, entrenched interests, and vicious opponents our people have ever seen. Despite great outside dangers from other countries, our biggest threat remains the sick, sinister, and evil people from within our own country.
True.
But no matter how
True.
big or powerful
Absolutely.
the corrupt,
I'm looking at them.
radical left Democrats are,
Sorry, Don.
we are fighting like nobody's ever fought before. I
We're
really
literally
believe that
watching
right
the
now
mob
we are
boss
fighting like nobody
of the
has
most
ever
dangerous group
fought before. And you
in
must
America.
never forget, this nation does
You,
not
Donnie?
belong to them. This nation belongs to you.
Yeah.
When has Joe Biden never said anything like that?
You.
He said, yeah, we've got
Belongs
Americans
to
who are
you.
dangerous.
This is your
country
home,
doesn't
this
belong
is
to
your
them.
heritage, and our American liberty is your God-given right. They want to take God out of politics. No, we're not taking God. From Asheville to Charlotte, from Greensboro to Raleigh, and from Kitty Hawk to right here at a place called Wilmington. Have you ever heard of Wilmington?
Kitty Hawk's actually beautiful. I've camped on Kitty
This
Hawk
state
before.
was forged by some of the toughest men and some of the strongest women ever to walk the face of the earth. Our American ancestors were backcountry farmers and frontier settlers, incredible people, woodsmen and craftsmen and workers and warriors who poured their love into this land for their families. And above all, they were proud citizens, fiercely independent North Carolina patriots who blazed their own trail and took orders from nobody. They forged the pathways, they climbed the mountains, they fought the battles, they conquered the dangers, and they tamed the unknown wilderness. They built the factories, and they gave everything they had to make America into the greatest and most powerful nation in the history of the world.
Yep, here we go. Here we go. QAnon, baby. Let's go.
But now we are a nation in
Tell
decline.
you how messed up we are.
We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in 50 years, and where the stock market finished the worst first half of the year since 1872. Likewise, we are a nation that has the highest energy costs in its history. We are no longer energy independent or energy dominant, as we just were 2 very short years ago.
We're nothing
We are
without
a
you,
nation that is
Donald.
begging Venezuela,
Come
Saudi
back,
Arabia,
Donald.
and many other countries for oil. Please, please, please help us, says Joe Biden. And we have more liquid gold right under our feet than any other country. We are a nation that is consumed by the radical left's Green New Deal, yet everyone knows that the Green New Deal will lead to our destruction. We are a nation whose leaders
Electric cars.
are demanding all electric cars, even though they can't go far, cost too much, and whose batteries are produced in China with materials only available in China, when unlimited amounts of gasoline are available inexpensively right under our feet in the United States, but not available anywhere in China. We are a nation that ended oil exploration and production in the United States just as the price of oil reached an all-time high. We are a nation that surrendered in Afghanistan, leaving behind dead soldiers, American citizens, and $85 billion worth of the
Who made that agreement?
military equipment.
Did Uncle Donald
anywhere
make that
in the
agreement,
world.
Mila?
And we are a nation that allowed Russia
did.
to
He
devastate
totally
a
screwed
country,
us.
Ukraine,
'Cause
killing
his buddy
hundreds of
Vladimir wanted
thousands
him
of
to.
people,
That's right.
and it will only get worse. It would never have happened with me as your commander-in-chief, and for 4 long years, it didn't happen. And China, with Taiwan, is next. We are a nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against the opposing political party like never before. We've got a Federal Bureau of Investigation that won't allow bad election-changing facts to be presented to the public, where Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation when they knew it wasn't, and the Department of Justice that refuses to investigate egregious acts of voting irregularities and fraud.
That
And
have
we
all
have a
been
president who is
debunked by my own
cognitively
judges.
impaired
And my
and
own
in no
attorney general
condition
said
to
he was
lead our
bullshit.
country, which
That's
may
right,
very
Mila.
well end up
That's right.
in World War III. We are a nation that no longer has a free and fair press. Fake news is all
See all
you
those
get,
people recording me and
and they
broadcasting
are
me?
the enemy of the people.
Fake. I'm fake.
Where free speech is no longer allowed, where crime is
Not
rampant
real.
like never before,
North Carolina.
where the economy has been collapsing, where more people died of COVID in 2021 than in 2020. We are a nation that is allowing Iran to build a massive nuclear weapon and China to use the trillions and trillions of dollars it has taken from us to build a military to rival our own. And just 2 years ago, we had Iran, China, Russia, and North Korea in check. They weren't going to do a thing against us, and everyone knows it. And perhaps most importantly, we are a nation that is no longer respected or listened to
Do they have it on
around the
repeat?
world. We are a
there
nation
we go.
that in
Okay,
many
it's on repeat.
ways has become a joke. And we are a nation that is hostile to
Says
liberty.
the guy whose face
freedom,
color doesn't match the
faith.
color of his neck.
We are a nation whose economy
Pathetic.
is floundering, whose stores are not stocked, whose deliveries are not coming, and whose educational system is ranked at the bottom of every single list.
I'm seeing some yawns.
We are a nation whose once
They,
revered
I don't think they
airports are
thought about
dirty
this. I think
and
this
a
is actually
crowded
putting a lot of
mess, where you sit
these
and
people
wait
to
for
sleep.
hours and then are notified that the plane won't leave, and they have no
This is
idea
so
when
terrible.
it will. a nation where ticket prices are through the roof. They don't have the pilots fly the planes. They don't want or seek qualified air traffic controllers, and they don't know what they're doing. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, willpower, and strength. We are a nation that has lost its way. But we are not going to let this continue. 2 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. It was hard-working patriots like you who built this country, and it is hard-working patriots like you who are going to save our country. We will stand up to the radical left lunatics and the rhinos, and we will fight for America like no one has ever fought before. There is no mountain we cannot climb. There is no summit we cannot reach. There is no challenge we cannot meet. There is no victory we cannot have.
Except for 2020.
We will not bend. We will not break. We will not
No
yield.
victory we can't
We will
have,
never give
except
in.
for
We
the
will
2020
never give up.
presidential election.
And we will never, ever, ever, ever back down. As long as we are confident and united, the tyrants we are fighting do not stand a chance, because we are Americans, and Americans kneel to God and God alone.
Maybe they were right. Maybe this isn't the
My
QAnon
fellow
music. Maybe
citizens,
this
this
is
incredible journey we are on together
Maybe they got this on, like,
has
a sleep
only just begun.
Spotify
And it is
playlist.
time to start talking about greatness for our country again. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious American nation. So with the help of everyone here today and citizens
Except for
all
those
across our land,
lunatic liberals.
we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again.
It's crazy.
And we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much, North Carolina. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wow. Well, so pretty much identical to the one he gave a few days ago when he ended with the QAnon music as well. And we will make everyone sleep again. Yeah. Yeah. Man. Wow. He's got on one of his, like, worse tan lines going here. You can see his neck is just not matching. Oh, yeah. Break it down, Donnie. Keep making that money, Don. Keep squeezing those suckers. All right, Donald, get off the stage, bud. Now on to see whether or not they've found out that I've shared the list of spies with Vladimir. All right. Whew. Man, it was quite the day. Quite the day today. Let's see what else we got here. Let's reload this thing. Looks like we got some highlights. This poor guy. Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing I think of after I hear a Donald Trump speech. Like, that guy's a genius. Yeah, no, more of like genius evil, maybe. It's like the bad guy. Yeah, more like that. Let's see. Baffles his mind. How can you sleep at night, Joe? Yeah, I mean, what most Trump supporters don't get is that this guy is the one who made that agreement so that Vladimir Putin and Syria would have a stronger hold in the Middle East. They don't get it. And of course, they don't hear it. And it looks like this is the view from... This was the Ohio rally when Donald Trump planned his speech as the Ohio State game was being played, which is just utterly insane. And this is actually the first rally where he played that QAnon song. The QAnon song over the closing remarks, just like he just did. Mila's getting tired. She wants to go down. And during that, I made a video about it. It's on the channel if you guys haven't watched it yet. The majority of the people down in this part of the audience on the floor section were holding up their index finger for the where we go one, we go all. That's the QAnon phrase. And it was really funny because in my video, all these commenters were just denying that QAnon existed. Saying, oh, this isn't the music. Which is hard to... Like, I can't really trust you when literally nearly everyone on the floor was holding up their finger for the where we go one, we go all. You're not gonna convince me otherwise. Let's see here. Woman at the Trump rally says New North Carolina. Hey Siri. The North Carolina race was rigged, but all the Republicans were legit. Okay.
Corrupt. I don't think he won. There's no way when Trump and all Republicans won the down line that he won in 2020. And I don't care who knows that, but it's just.
My bad, guys. I wasn't playing the audio for the computer. So let's see.
I feel like the state has a lot of corruption. I think it starts from the governor I'll say it, he's corrupt. I don't think he won. There's no way when Trump and all Republicans won the down line that he won in 2020. And I don't care who knows that. But you know, it's just, I feel like the state has a lot of corruption.
Okay. It's corrupt. She's corrupt. It feels corrupt to her, guys. It just feels. She's got a feeling. Just doesn't. He was a Democrat who won. Just feels corrupt, right? Oof. How could you? How could you? This is the guy I was talking about who was a little confused over Afghanistan.
Should be impeached for what he's done with what he did with Afghanistan, for one. Just us leaving and not helping our troops that are still over there today. It's just it baffles my mind that a sitting president can sleep at night knowing what he's done.
I mean, he's been hitting the Coors Light all day, guys, waiting in line. And he has no idea how Joe Biden could live with himself, that his hand was forced to withdraw troops from Afghanistan because Donald Trump, months before the transition of power, said that the troops are going to leave. He has no idea. He has no idea that Donald Trump was the one who initiated that withdrawal. Also, his buddy Vladimir Putin could grab some more oil in the Middle East. He has no idea. How does Biden sleep at night? How could he? No, this guy's got Donald Trump down.
I'm going to tell you why I support President Trump. He is a problem solver. In fact, I'm amazed of his genius.
Right. Yep. What we just saw, guys, it was just pure genius problem solving. Calling half of America liars, cheaters, trying to amp up his crowd. Oh my. That sounds pretty intense. Violence at a Trump rally. No way. No way. Donald Trump's the most peaceful president ever, guys. So peaceful. Looks like a lot of this is just... Yeah. A lot of people are talking about the ominous music playing again. Let's see. Let's go home. Let's see what else is happening. Looks like Roger Federer loses final competitive match of his career at the LeVar Cup 2022. And he and Nadal were partners, it looks like. Well, that's a bummer. That's tough. Emotional day for that guy. Oh. Yeah, this was a moment where Donald Trump was bragging that he could just stop the war in Ukraine. Let's see what he had to say here.
Ted will vote to stop the radical Democrats' inflation-causing spending binge.
Okay, never mind.
And he will unlock American energy and bring prices way down. And what happens when the prices come down to where they were? Putin stops the war.
Oh yeah, it was.
He'll stop
okay.
it anyway. Yeah. If I decide to do this,
so
I guarantee
backwards.
he will stop it very quickly.
So
Very,
backwards.
very
If
quickly.
prices come down, Putin will stop the war, and not the war has raised prices. Just backwards. Just so his. There's nothing logical about that statement. Yeah, Real Bill P commenting about the having the rally sponsored by QAnon. Let's see if I bookmarked it. There was a post about some of the stuff that Trump had posted to Truth Social. There's a video that Trump posted with he's just going straight up QAnon conspiracy now. Let's see if we can find it. Man, I really thought I bookmarked that post. Photos maybe? Let's see. Somebody had posted a mashup of frames that of the video that Donald Trump posted today on Truth Social, and there were 4 posts with QAnon stuff in it. I mean, he's just wrapping his arms around it at this point. He did. He posted that picture, right? And then today, I guess he posted a video, a full-on video that just wrapped their arms around QAnon. I mean, I think that speaks to how Donald Trump is screwed. How him being investigated for, I mean, we haven't really seen the fallout from the announcement from the New York Attorney General about the family fraud lawsuit. We have seen fallout from the investigation into him obstructing the FBI from getting back classified documents. But yeah, I mean, he's lost a lot of support. And so he's just left with QAnon people. And I mean, the investigation, the Department of Justice, there was a ruling yesterday from the appellate court that said that the department can use those classified documents again and resume their investigation as to whether or not and how badly Donald Trump hurt our national security if he did something with those documents. Again, there's missing documents. There's top secret missing documents. And we know that a lot of shady people had access to Mar-a-Lago. So that's, he's lost a bunch of support that was shed from the investigation. Maybe that shed a little bit from the New York Attorney General's office announcement. I mean, if you're being investigated for possible espionage, I don't know how a family fraud lawsuit is going to do any more damage if you're still supporting him after that. I mean, after all these things, if you're still supporting him, you're still supporting him. But if we do find out that he, sold documents to Vladimir Putin, to the Crown Prince, what will happen, right? It'll be interesting. So I need to get some food. It is turning into the evening here on the West Coast. Thank you guys for watching the stream with me. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I'd like to do them a lot more, especially now that, the midterms are coming up. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot of rallies to watch. We're going to have some more debates to watch. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the comments and hearing from you guys in the next live stream.